Yeah, good show this morning, you guys. Thanks.
No, thanks so much for the call. Ron from Anchorage. Well, now we're going to get to our interview with, is it terp extracts? Am I pronouncing that right, Austin?
Close. It's terp extractors.
Terp extractors, okay. And Austin Noack is his name. He's the owner and the founder. In Alaska, as you know, Colorado first, Washington second, now Oregon and Alaska. So 4 states legalize marijuana, more to come probably. And we have the show every week. Corey has sponsored it to give updates. Tell us about your product and how you started your company.
Well, again, I'd just like to say thanks for having me on the show, Tom, and congratulations to your recent changes and your latest vote. Our company, Terp Extractors, we build closed-loop butane extractors that will allow you to create your butane hash oil without the dangers of open gases, explosions, and all that good jazz. And of course, it's going to allow you to recycle your butane to be reused again. So there's not that waste of the solvent. So it is the safer alternative to what you hear on the news of people blowing themselves up.
And what about whenever I look at the, you read articles in Denver, throughout Colorado, nationally with all the coverage from Huffington Post to Fox to you name it, how's Colorado responding to concentrates and what is their view? Because here there's cities, if you follow Alaska at all, the media, that we just talked with Brandon Woll, who's a city council member in Wasilla, Sarah Palin country, right outside of Anchorage. And we're seeing cities and communities and boroughs. We don't have counties, we have boroughs similar to a county. We're looking at them digest this, analyze it. We just had that caller, Ron. He says, hey, is it in organized boroughs, unorganized? How did Colorado respond to concentrates, and what's their view in general? I mean, I know you can't speak for everybody.
Right, exactly. Well, fortunately, Colorado didn't sweep it under the rug. They came forth and put forward some requirements by the Medical Marijuana Enforcement Division. Now, the Medical Marijuana Enforcement Division is responsible for out here in Colorado for seeing recreational and medical. So the rules they put forth outline that these machines have to go through an engineering review. The facility has to go through a review with the fire marshal to make sure that all the adequate safety systems, ventilation, and everything is put into place for these rooms. So they've taken a couple of steps to make sure that we do it right and do it safely without any hazard to the operator or the facility. And the users as well. They've put forth requirements to keep the residual solvents in these concentrates down to what they consider safe levels.
Corey, any thoughts on that or comments in parity with Alaska?
Couple questions. Who would you say the target market is for concentrate consumers? Who's using concentrates?
That's really hard to say because, I've watched concentrates go from, just in the past 3 years, I've watched them go from just a little thing that they had in the display case that, maybe took up a few inches of real estate to having entire rooms dedicated to concentrates. We're seeing everybody from, just your standard issue medical user to all your recreational users. Concentrates are so attractive for just the mere fact of the matter is you don't have to smoke as much, and you don't have all the other plant matter or carcinogens that you may get with the classic way of smoking cannabis.
Yeah, and can you describe for our listeners, a lot of them aren't familiar with concentrates, the process of creating the concentrate, extracting the THC and creating the concentrate using a closed loop system like yours?
Okay. Well, the process is pretty straightforward. The closed-loop systems are set up to use butane and propane. Now, these solvents are non-polar solvents, and they are especially attractive for in extraction because of their low boiling points, and you can really preserve the profile. So the process pretty much entails loading the plant material in a column, and then the butane is washed as a liquid across the column, across all the plant material. The liquid picks up the essential oils, being the cannabinoids, and also terpenes, terpenoids, and a couple of different things as well. Brings that through into a collection vessel. The butane solvent is boiled off, recaptured, and then the oils are left, the heavier than air oils are left in the collection chamber. From there, it's scooped out of a collection chamber and it goes into a vacuum purging process. This is a post-processing to where it removes any residual butane that may be locked up in the oil. Now, of course, there are many different methods for extracting oils. You know, it's not just limited to butane. You know, there's supercritical CO2, and you know, there's of course different solvents and different techniques. You know, it seems like every couple months there's something new.
Folks, we're talking with Austin Noack in Colorado. He's the owner and founder of Terp Extractors, basically closed-loop butane extractors. And yes, they exist. And yes, that's something that may be on the market soon because of Alaska's legalization, passage of the ballot measure in November. And so, you know, Austin, as we look at the future of Alaska, Corey, for instance, as an entrepreneur, he says, hey, I'm going to consult with people, try to talk with growers, facilitators, manufacturers. I'm seeing this in other states as well as the legalization occurs. Are you going to be involved with the Northwest Cannabis Classic in May, Corey's event, and are you going to be involved in Alaska with your product?
Well, we're certainly going to be involved with Alaska and our product. Now, as far as that event that Corey's got going on in Pacific Northwest, this is the first I've heard of it, and we would certainly love to get in on it. We've been doing a lot of work up in the Pacific Northwest as it is. We were just up in Seattle about a month ago with CannaCon.
Well, this is going to be huge. Corey thinks, what do you think, over 5,000 folks at that event?
Yeah, we expect around 5,000 people. We've got 45,000 square feet of some of the best real estate in downtown Anchorage at the Denina Center. We've got, you know, Jorge Cervantes is coming out, Jeff Lowenfels, who's a ADN columnist, longest columnist in the country, actually writes a gardening column in the ADN here locally. We've got Tom Alexander, who's an industry insider. So we've got Russ Belleville, a lot of industry folks coming up who are going to be participating in the seminars as well as the trade fair aspect. So,
and Corey, you may have Austin Noack. Imagine the Austin Noack show. Austin, you want to do that in Alaska?
You know what? I'm game.
I love it. Terp Extractors, folks, look them up. Thank you, Austin. We're going to come back and wrap up on the Tom Anderson Show. It's joint sessions.